What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Los Blancos Fan TV. Hope you guys are doing well during these confusing times. Today, we've got a lot to talk about today. Some things I wasn't planning on talking about. Jovic, of course, we'll talk about that later. But we're going to talk about Reguilon. We're going to talk about Casemiro's contract situation. We're going to talk about Brahim Diaz. We're going to talk about Camavinga. Of course, coming out with some quotes. The Real Madrid players getting their COVID-19 tests and which players got tested positive, maybe negative. We'll talk about that later. We'll also talk about players that may be coming back. We're going to talk about when that Liga will start, when that Liga will end, and, of course, the new rule implemented by the International Football Association Board about 5 substitutions per game on a temporary basis, of course, until the season ends. Let's start with Reguilon, who's, according to Marca, has expressed a desire to return to Madrid, but with Mendy and Marcelo already there, he would like to return to Sevilla for another season, which I think makes sense. I know Mendy's been fantastic, defensively, very, very sound. Marcelo, unfortunately, I think we all know that Marcelo's a legend of the club, of course, done many great things, but 4 different injuries this season, sort of on decline now, unfortunately, but I wouldn't mind, because Reguilon is still young, and Marcelo did come out a week ago saying that he doesn't think Real Madrid want to sell him. He's happy at Madrid, so I do think they will keep Marcelo for another season. And with Mendy and Reguilon needs to get playing time. I think that's what he needs to develop even more. Kind of like Hakimi did at Dortmund. He got a 2-year loan over there. So that'll be good for Reguilon as well to just have another year at Sevilla. I think would be great. Regular playing time in La Liga, possibly in the Europa League or in the Champions League, possibly, whether Sevilla qualifies for that. So it'd be good instead of competing with Mendy and Marcelo for their left back spot. These players need playing time, the young players to learn the game, basically. So I think it'd be good for him to go back for another season. Moving on to Casemiro, whose contract actually expires in 2021. And starting in January 2021, he can talk to any team around Europe. But according to Melco Ruiz, who's a tier 1 source, very, very good source, he is saying that the contract's already been renewed until 2023. Just that an official announcement is just missing. That's the only thing that's missing. The contract's already signed. Everything's done. All the terms have been agreed. The salary's been agreed. He's going to be one of the top earners at Real Madrid, Casemiro. I think we all can agree that, for me, Casemiro is irreplaceable for me. I mean, done such a great job for Real Madrid for many, many years. Athleticism, reading of the game is very, very good. He's a very, very good player. 4 goals, 4 assists this season as a CDM. Very, very good for him. So I can't wait till the official announcement. That's the only thing that's missing. So I do think he will stay. 10 out of 10 for me. Casemiro will stay at Real Madrid. So I'm not too worried about that. And of course, Zidane is probably looking for a replacement, because Casemiro is actually the player that's clocked up the most minutes under Zinedine Zidane since he's come in. He's had the most minutes, so there might be some kind of tiring in there, but so we'll see about the Camavinga situation or the CDM position. There was a source, Marca, again, not the most reliable source. Sometimes get it right, sometimes get it wrong, but they were saying that Real Madrid are no longer looking at Pogba, and they're looking at more like Camavinga or Kante. Now Kante, again, loads of injuries this season, hasn't had the best of seasons for Chelsea. Not really looking for him. Now 29 years of age as well. For me, I wouldn't really be too interested in Kante. Camavinga, I would be more leaning towards that one. And I do think that Real Madrid are definitely interested in Camavinga. But the thing is, Rennes have got Champions League football. So that might be tempting for him to stay one more season over there, because they do want to keep Camavinga at all costs. They're not in financial problems or anything like that. They are doing very, very well financially. So, for me, 7 out of 10. I said for Camavinga to come to Real Madrid this summer. I'll still stick to 7 out of 10. I do think that he will come to Real Madrid this summer. I think that the Zidane pool is just too much. It's just too much for me. So I do think that Camavinga will come to Real Madrid this summer for around 60 million euros. Moving on to Brahim Diaz. A couple of sources, AS and Sport.de, a German source. Not the most reliable, to be honest, but we'll still talk about it. they're saying that Brahim Diaz, probably would like a loan. He's played less than 200 minutes in all competitions this season. He's hardly played for Real Madrid this season. Hardly played. 20 years of age. There's probably potential in there. Um, AS are saying that Betis would like Brahim Diaz, and Sport.de, they're saying that Dortmund would like Brahim Diaz on loan. So I think it'll be a great move. Brahim Diaz has not had a lot of minutes this season. Hasn't had a lot of minutes. Going to Dortmund. Dortmund are a great club for developing talent. You've seen Aubameyang, Mkhitaryan. You've seen Holland right now, Jadon Sancho. Hakimi, one of ours. Loads of young talent over there. They've developed very, very well. And Brahim Diaz going to Dortmund, I would be opposed to that. I really wouldn't. And going to Betis, I wouldn't be opposed to that either. As long as he gets playing time, completely fine with that. He's not going to get a lot of playing time at Real Madrid, and training with the first team probably isn't the best way for you to develop your game, to learn the game, and improve yourself as a player. So going out on loan, that's the best way to do it. So Brahim on loan, I wouldn't be opposed to that whatsoever. But let's talk about the test. Now, Real Madrid players went back to training. Well, they didn't go back to training, but they went back to the facilities where they got tested for the COVID-19 test, and all of them tested negative. So that's very, very good. That's very, very good. Results were in today on Friday, and all of them tested negative. So that's very, very good to hear. Training will start on Monday, at 10 o'clock over there. Asensio, he will go to the training facilities and continue his recovery for. He had a big injury during preseason I think it was against Arsenal, if I can recall, a big injury. So hopefully he can come back the same. Eden Hazard is about a month away from being fully fit. So when La Liga does start, Eden Hazard will be fully fit. So that's very, very good to hear. But unfortunately, Luka Jovic is injured. Yep. Somehow, during training at home, he got injured. So, that must be some kind of work. I don't know what he did. I don't know what he was doing at home. But Jovic he broke quarantine rules during this quarantine, and I somehow got hurt during quarantine. So I don't know what. It's been kind of wild for Jovic, but he suffered an extra articular fracture in the calcaneus bone, which is a heel bone in the right foot. So he'll be out for up to 2 months. And 2 months, the season will be almost over. Almost over. The Leganes coach, Javier Aguirre, he came out and said that La Liga will start on June 20th if everything does go well. And it will end on July 26th. So, and the games will be on Wednesdays and Sundays, according to Deportes Cuatro. So, I can't wait. June 20th, I can't wait to go back. You still got that title race with Barcelona. Hopefully the Champions League does come back, of course, but I think that will be after in August. That's when the Champions League will take place. I just can't wait to get the season over with, to be honest. You got Hazard back. Unfortunately, Jovic will be out. But then again, Jovic, a lot of people are saying that Jovic has flopped. Only 2 goals, 2 assists, whatnot. He doesn't have a lot of goals compared, of course, to Frankfurt, 27 over there. But he hasn't really had a run of games. I've seen a lot of players. People say they flop. But he never had a consistent run of games. I think that's what Jovic needs is 10 games. You know what? Go out there every single game. You're guaranteed these 10 games. Go out there and show me. That's how we're going to figure out if he's good enough. 10 games right there. Boom. He's only 21, 22. Very, very young. We see what he can do at Frankfurt. I just think he needs a run of game. Not 70 minutes there, 10 minutes there, 5 minutes there, 90 minutes there. He needs to be consistently in the team for me. If you really want to get the best out of him, especially that Benzema was off form ever since the start of the new year, I would like to see a little bit more of Jovic, to be honest. But, we'll see about that. He's injured for 2 months, so I don't know what's up with him in terms of what's going on in quarantine for him. But the players will start training on Monday, May the 11th. So that's good to hear. Hopefully everything does go well. A lot of the teams that come back, I did see Barcelona training. This morning I saw a couple of their training pictures. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. But let's talk about Camavinga. He actually came out with his own mouth. He said that one of the opponents, when he played a cup game against Amiens, which is a French team, he told him that the opponent told him that to give him his shirt before he goes to Real Madrid, and he thought it was funny. He said that he's not really thinking much about Real Madrid, about the interest from other clubs. He just focused on Rennes right now, and he will see where his future lies at the end of the season. Well, for the French league, it's over. PSG already champions over there. Rennes are in the Champions League place, so it's more likely that he will stay for another season since Rennes are in the Champions League. So that's an attraction for some players. But then again, you got Zidane there, the Zidane pool, of course, Real Madrid pool right there. So we'll see what happens. But I do think he's thinking about other clubs. Come on, bro. How can you not think about Real Madrid? I think he is. So I think he'll come to Real Madrid, this season, at the latest next season for me. I think he'll come to Real Madrid and be a star at Real Madrid. I think that's what he will do. But, we'll see how that develops in the future. But the last thing we'll talk about, though, is the new rule. The new rule that's being implemented. The International Football Association Board have approved now that 5 substitutions per game is going to be the new rule. This is going to be temporary, of course, until the end of the season. This is going to happen. You have 3 opportunities to make substitutions. So 5 substitutions, but you only get 3 opportunities to make substitutions. So basically, sometimes you're going to be forced to make double subs. So to avoid time wasting, of course. So because at the end of the game, when you have a 1-0 lead, you just made those substitutions, of course, to waste a little bit of time. You know what I'm talking about. I think we've all seen that. So they don't want that to happen. And that does not include halftime, though. That does not include halftime. 3 opportunities during the game. So if you make a substitution at halftime, then you have 4 opportunities to make a substitution, basically. So, and of course, if the game does go to extra time, there's an extra sub in there as well. So that means that everyone's going to have to show up. Everybody. So that means, the people on the bench. I don't really like calling players bad, but let's just say the inferior players are going to have to make an impact as well. You can't just sit on the bench all day. Maybe Gareth Bale's going to have to be used instead of playing golf. You have to go out there, man. So we'll see about that. But probably substitutions per game. FIFA said that it was set to protect the player welfare. So I just thought that maybe it's about fitness. Because when the players do come back, they won't be fully fit. Even with like a month of training, will they be really fully fit? Maybe, but I don't know. So I think it might be more of a fitness thing. You get 5 substitutions in the game instead of 3. It helps the team out for sure. Then again, you're gonna feel your crap players out. So we need everyone to step up after this break, definitely. So, but that's the news for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Of course, subscribe if you are new, and peace.